Hey guys, Chair Womack here from ServiceDogSecrets.com, wanting to talk to you guys about a question I get asked a lot, and that is, how many times a day should you be training your dog? Now there's a couple different answers, and I want to cover them both. One is that if you want to teach basic skills like sit, down, stay, fetch, that sort of stuff, then once or twice a day is easy. However, and once or twice a day will work. The dog will learn the ability. However, if you want to build reliability that will actually be able to withstand distractions, so in other words, the obedience will still be there when the doorbell rings. The obedience will still be there if you're on a leash when another dog walks up to you and that kind of a thing, I recommend that you look at the area in the dog community that has dogs that do awesome in those scenarios and see how they train their dogs to handle them. And the area that I like to look to is the working dog world. So what's a working dog? That's service dogs for the handicapped, that's seeing eye dogs for the blind, that's police dogs, that's those sorts of things. Agility, that type of stuff, where the dogs are put into incredibly distracting environments and they still perform awesome. Like if you've ever seen how calm a seeing eye dog is, if you've ever seen one, or I'm sure you have, in a store where you were shopping or something, that just really calm. It's distraction proof. It can't be distracted, and there's a reason why. And that is that that type of a dog is trained 3 to 5 times a day, and it's trained with short 2 to 3 minute training sessions. And all of those sessions are asking that dog to pay more and more attention to the task at hand, and are about giving that dog a job to do that it's trying to accomplish. So it's more concerned about doing its job than it is about its distracting environment. So that when it sees a car coming down the street, for example, it sees that as an environmental cue. I want to talk about environmental cues in a different video, but it sees it as an environmental cue to go to work, meaning put myself between the car and the owner, let's say, and stop my blind owner from walking into the street into that car. So the dog's got a job to do, and it's looking for those sorts of things. Where a dog that isn't going through that level of training 3 to 5 times a day, really working at learning how to identify environmental cues in its life as its cues to be obedient, will see the car and has no obedience. It might run out there. Maybe it'll just stand there. Maybe it won't chase the car, but it's a totally different level that can be achieved if you up your training to 3 to 5 times a day instead of just once or twice. So here's some tips on how to do this, and that is, I'm currently going through a class that's that I don't teach, but I brought in a trainer who's a police dog trainer and a service dog trainer who has trained these types of dogs for real people in the real world, and I've brought her in to teach a class for my clients and my subscribers, and it's over at Service Dog Secrets. We teach it about once a quarter. It's a live class, and one of the things that she taught me is that what she likes to do is have a pile of treats ready, and she likes to have those treats ready to go, and in between commercials, as she's watching TV every night, she just gets up and does training. And it's real easy if you have all your treats all ready to go before you watch your TV show. To every time the commercial comes up, you get up and you do another quick training session. And that way the dog gets that amount of effort in, and you don't have to oh, I don't have treats ready, and never not be ready. So that's a great little tip that she taught me, and that we teach our people who go through our Service Dog Secrets program to follow along with. The other tip is you want to leave your dog wanting more, so that's why you keep these training sessions short, 2 to 3 minutes, so that the dog's like, oh yeah, awesome, and you end on a really good behavior. And then to cement that behavior, you then go and play for a minute or two, or you could do longer as well. But what happens is you turn these training sessions into a gateway drug, so to speak, for what they're really addicted to. And that is typically play or ball or tug and those sorts of things. And so if the dog will learn, if you do it correctly, that if I do these little training sessions through this TV show that mom and dad are watching, then they take me out to play ball. And training sessions always end with either 30 seconds of tug, or they end with 5 minutes of playing fetch outside and those sorts of things. And the dog becomes addicted to training. And that also gets into another topic that's for another video about building and capping your dog's drive, but we'll talk about that later. So hey, if a couple of other resources that if you've never watched my videos before, you can check out. If you're into basic obedience stuff, I'd recommend, you're just getting started with obedience, freedogclass.com is a place I'd like you to go check out where you can learn more about how I recommend you get your dog started with basic obedience. And if you are interested in the service dog world, I'd recommend Service Dog Secrets, which again is that live class that we teach about once a quarter. And we open it up and we close it back down. So you want to go over to that page and sign up to be notified the next time the class opens up. To be clear, that class, it's not going to teach your dog to be a service dog. That is something I can't legally do. It's actually a certification process. You have to be handicapped to actually have a service dog. However, I take all the stuff for that they do with the training of service dogs. I use a real trainer who's done service dog training, and I show regular people like you and I how to train their dog like service dogs. We won't talk about all the stuff over there. We don't teach the dogs how to dial 911 if you fall and break your hip and that kind of thing. We could. We don't currently. We know how to do that, but we teach you the foundation, and the foundation is the incredible ability to not be distracted by the most distracting things in the environment, and how to teach a dog to recognize environmental cues, to have a job to do and be obedient. So that's what we do over there. But that's enough for today. I will talk to you in the next video with some of these other concepts real soon.